And we welcome you to another live edition of This Is Wrestling. Yes, you're not hearing it live, but Lee Versage, live in the presence of one Hornsey, Zach McGibbon. Always good to see your smiling face, Zachary. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Lee. Yeah, it's you are here in CHEZ McGibbon, I think is what we're going to be calling the establishment here. Different location this time.
Yeah.
Locked off. I know for the last time we had some run-ins from, I think, all the animals in the house. But we are now locked away in a special little room here. So make sure that there's no more run-ins. Although I think the fans would have loved a run-in. But I think as we've learned in pro wrestling the last little bit, there is a limit to how many run-ins you can do in a match.
There is a limit. I thought I handled the run-ins very well as a professional last time. CHEZ McGibbon seems like it's too lengthy.
Too lengthy?
Like GIBBY is fine.
That's a good one too.
GIBBY?
Yeah. CHEZ
GIBBY.
Yeah. There you go.
So we'll work on it, but CHEZ McGibbon seems like a little much.
Yeah.
But you're back from Bell Vegas. What were you doing last night?
I was down doing Acclaim Pro Wrestling, doing commentary for the show there.
Dom Polsky Hall.
That's right, downtown Ottawa, and it was. I was pretty impressed with the Jays happening yesterday. That they still were able to sell out. It was a sold out crowd again at the Dom Polsky Hall, so I was pretty impressed by that.
Is that 6 or 7 people in the Dom Polsky?
This is more than that.
Oh,
it's about 300. I think 300, 350.
It's a smaller venue, but love the independent scene when you get 300 people. I'm sure sounds like a lot more, especially all like-minded people that want to be there. So yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
I could give you a funny story if you like. I won't reveal the wrestler's name.
It would be a first. Go ahead.
I think you'll get a kick out of this. So I won't reveal the wrestler's name, but there was a wrestler booked on the card, and they were supposed to make their debut for Acclaim.
Mm-hmm.
And Acclaim Pro Wrestling, the Dom Polsky Hall is at 379 Waverly Street.
Yes.
Of course. So this person is from outside of Canada, and so they're traveling in, and they had put in the wrong address into their GPS.
Where did they go?
They went to 379 Waverly Street, Oshawa, Ontario. Instead of Ottawa, Ontario.
Come on.
Which, what are the odds, right? Now, he did go all the way into Oshawa.
Did he make it back?
He called up the promoter. He realized, he's like, I seem to be going more south than north than I'd like to be doing. And it was past Belleville and whatnot. And realized, like, he went into his settings and realized, oh, it says Oshawa, not Ottawa for my booking. And so he called up the promoter. Promoter's like, oh, so are you going to be able to make it? He's like, oh, I'm going to be there. Like, I committed to you guys, but I'm going to be there. Like, usually you want to try and get to the show at like 6 o'clock, 6:30. He got there at 8:50. So
he got on the show?
He did get on the show.
Okay.
They did wrestle, and they had a good showing, but it's like a classic mishap.
I ran into the current C4 champion yesterday.
Yes.
Mr. Benito. And I told him that you were going to be there. I said, you better watch out for this guy. He wants to just separate you and McRae, and he's driving the wedge in and in and in until it's just going to be there. So I said, you better call him on it.
Yeah. I wondered why the distance was there, because Now, granted, he was working on his match beforehand, so maybe that's why
he fought Mark Wheeler.
He did fight Mark Wheeler, the Golden Gun.
Yeah,
they had a really good match. They have some really good. Mark Wheeler's, like, when you see him, he's got like good size, but he's also super agile in there, and he's wrestled on some of the Ring of Honor tapings before as well. So he's somebody I always enjoy calling matches for. So when I saw it was booked that was Wheeler versus Benito for the title, I was like, oh, we're in for a good match.
Was that the main event?
It was not the main event.
What was the main event? The
main event was Kristara versus Harlan Abbott. It was a playoff from the previous show. They did a main event of the champions, Junior Benito, with Katrina Creed taking on, switch it around. Junior Benito and Kristara taking on Harlan Abbott versus Katrina Creed. And they did a big time angle with Harlan Abbott. They're really pushing him as like the big top heel. He lost his championship to Junior Benito at Starmageddon, and he's been on a mission to try and get that belt back. And wreaking havoc every which way he can. He's been brawling all around Dom Polsky Hall, coming from Western Canada and doing all this. And so at the next show, I can say at Christmas Chaos, December 6th at the Dom Polsky Hall, it is going to be Junior Benito versus Harlan Abbott for the Acclaimed Championship in a last man standing match.
Okay.
Yeah. So their previous matchup was a lot of fun to call, and that was a wild brawl. So I can only imagine what a last man standing match can bring. So
How tall is he?
Harlan Abbott?
Yeah.
He's
Big guy?
He's a bigger dude. I want to say, how tall would you say Junior is? He's a little taller than Junior.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought Junior was taller than when I saw him in person going, yeah, he's not that tall.
So I think he's hovering around 6 feet.
Well, my point would be that for Junior, it'll be easier to get up after the last man standing because he's not that.
That's right. That's right. He's not, but he's definitely somebody that continues to showcase himself. I also have to give props to the hot stepper McCray Martin.
Yeah.
Double booked yesterday.
My guy.
Yeah, your guy.
Well, you're the one trying to drive the wedge. I'm just telling you about how great McCray is.
Yes, of course. But Hot Stepper, he was in the opener of the Acclaim show, got into his car, drove down to Cornwall, and main evented the Seaway Valley show on that same night.
Wow.
Did a double booking last night. So shout out to him for being able to do that.
Shout out to him. He's the one double fisted in the cash.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, I might as well make it work. So, yeah.
So, Zach, I don't know if people can hear or not, but we're not getting the run-ins.
No.
But we are getting the want to run-ins.
Yes. The dogs are barking. This is similar to what was that Al Snow Big Boss Man match?
Yes.
The dog kennel
Very,
match.
very not memorable one.
No. Well, memorable for the wrong reasons.
I've tried to forget. Now, my only question to you is, are the dogs going to stop for the next hour if you don't go out?
Well, I think the dog, here's the thing with the dogs.
Yeah, so folks, I already answered my own question now. Zach, with the non-answer,
I have to do the diplomatic answer.
Going to tell a story about the dogs means they're probably not going to shut up.
They will be likely hovering around. They won't be up here anyways.
That's from downstairs?
No, that was from up here.
Oh.
The dogs. But they'll be hovering around downstairs. They're usually keeping an eye out and making sure people aren't getting by. So that's probably.
You get any rest here at Shea Gibby?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The dogs fall asleep quite nicely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
They it's just with Ruby, she is just full of energy.
This is Shea Gibby in Ottawa.
Yes.
If you think I lowered myself to go to Waverly and then past Belleville on the way, and I'm stopping into Shea Gibby in Belleville, that's not happening.
This is kind of the wrong way, isn't this?
Yeah. That's hilarious. That's a really good story. All right. Off of our AEW WrestleDream review, let's continue because it looks like they are going to continue with Samoa Joe. He is going to wrestle a 4-way match for the right to face Hangman Page at Full Gear. And you're like, well, if he's wrestling a 4-way, then they're not going to go forward with Joe necessarily. Who knows? Right. The other 3 people they could go forward with. And then you're like, so, and Zach, let me just ask you.
Sure.
When you have a 4-way match it's like a number 1 contenders match to wrestle in the main event at the next pay-per-view for the World Heavyweight Championship, I would assume that in the rankings, it would be like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And okay, you know what? Good for number 4. He's going to get a chance.
Yep.
But whoever the best out of the top 4 guys, and they're going to wrestle, and the winner gets Hangman for the world title. And it's Samoa Joe, who I don't know what even he would have to say why he should be in the top 4, being one of the trios champions, not wrestling singles, and then getting a match at the last pay-per-view and losing clean.
Mm-hmm.
Why he should even be in there, I'm not sure. But then I look at the other 3 and go, yeah, well, if you're gonna, so the other 3 people wrestling on Wednesday, Hook, who I like Hook.
Yep.
Don't know what he's done other than befriended Eddie Kingston.
He's got a new song that he comes out to. And...
hasn't won a lot of matches.
No.
Bobby Lashley, once again, in singles competition, have no idea what he would be doing in there.
No visible pinfall loss, though, for Bobby Lashley.
No.
For whatever reason, I can only imagine.
Right. So without knowing, it's because Bobby Lashley doesn't want to take a pin.
What?
Yeah, it's true.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know that for a fact, but I got some facts as far as what he has done previously to be able to not take any pins.
Yeah. He hurts people, Lee. That's what he does.
He hurts me when I watch him. And
he's been hurting you for years, even before.
Oh, he has. And then another guy that's hurting me, he's gotten a little bit better, but I could just deal without Ricochet. Like if whatever gimmick he's trying to do, like So I guess what I'm saying, Zach, is Hook, who has come back and hasn't wrestled like at all.
Yeah, barely.
And then 3 guys that are all in trios teams.
Yeah.
Are the 4 number 1 contenders for the world title at Full Gear? What the hell is going on?
That roster, it becomes a little bit more clear when Swerve is gone and Ospreay's gone and Omega's gone. It's like MJF is gone. Adam Copeland is gone. If you want to throw Adam Cole in there, I know you mentioned last time, maybe not.
Well,
but
no, at this point, yes.
Might as well.
I'd still, Adam Cole's gone down a lot. I'd still rather watch him than any of the 4 guys that I just talked about.
And then plus you got Takeshi and Okada, and they've got their own thing going, so you can't bring them across to do this title match. And so not a lot of options. You already did the Fletcher match, and it's tough. It's tough, especially when you're trying to. I think this is supposed to be the definitive title run for Hangman after beating John Moxley at All In, and you want to try and have those. Like Fletcher, for sure belongs in that category of like, oh, that was a great competitive match.
Why wouldn't Darby Allin be in a number 1 contenders
at this point?
match?
Yeah, after beating Moxley, like
if you beat John Moxley, the former champ, and make him quit in an I Quit match in the main event of the last pay-per-view, how are you not at least in the top 4?
Yeah, at least contending. Yeah, but Ricochet beat the Hurt Syndicate in the trios match previously.
Yeah, but then lost.
But he beat them previously.
Oh, okay.
So because it's a stalemate between the two trios.
Isn't it a stalemate? Aren't the Hurt Syndicate up like 2-1 or 3-2 or something like that? 3-2 maybe?
I think it's 3-2, yeah.
But at least, Zach, and I digress here, but at least they're doing some new stuff with the TNT champ. Oh, no, wait a minute. After definitively beating Mark Briscoe and then saying it's 3-2 and you don't get another shot, then Mark Briscoe just comes out and like, actually, I want another shot. Now, to their credit, they said no, but I got a feeling
he'll find his way in.
They're going to find their way in. It's not just going to be, oh, shoot. He said no. I tried.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
He'll throw his hands up in the air.
So, look, I'm not, and we say this a lot, but sometimes the way the WWE books itself, I'm just not a fan of. But right now, what AEW is doing and not having a legitimate contender for the World Heavyweight title again, because Samoa Joe was not a legitimate contender before. And now, no matter who wins this match, there's not going to be a legitimate contender afterwards. We're all thinking it's going to be Joe, but who knows? And then I like Mark Briscoe, and I think you said it best last podcast, that he's the jobber to the stars.
Yeah.
He's that like tweener guy that he's better than, you know, the Barry Horowitz or the
Iron Mike Sharp.
Oh, I like Iron Mike Sharp, Canada's greatest athlete.
That's right. From Hamilton.
That's right.
Yeah.
SD Jones.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I always thought SD got a little bit of a bad rap towards the end. The Pedro Moraleses, the Tony Gurrias, Rene Goulet, always
that was
one
the
of my
name I was
favorites.
trying to think of. Yeah, Rene Goulet.
Barry O didn't win a lot, but I liked Barry.
Had the O
he did have the O,
yeah,
which is key. But yes, he's better, and I kid around a little bit. Mark Briscoe is really, really good to watch, but when it comes to the very top people, he doesn't beat them. except for MJF. Now MJF was going away, and I think that was a good thing that AEW and MJF did to get him in Mark Briscoe into this sort of stratosphere. But he's not going to beat another guy in that tier. So why go back to this again?
They don't really have the guys right now to kind of fill in. I think that's the only thing I could think of. And for me, it goes back to like, you know, why not try to push some guys? Like I could probably lead this into the Bandito Okada match on Dynamite, which was a tremendous match.
Yeah, it was good.
And I quite like that was one of the best showcases of Bandito as well. Like Bandito's kind of been under the radar in terms of having great matches. Like he had a great match with Hechicero at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view a while back. That might end up being on the top 5 of my match of the year list. But like, you know, why not try and see what you got with Bandito? You know, I know he's currently the AEW World Tag Team Champion with Brody King, but why not? Like, you know what he could provide in the ring.
But what if Brody King and Kyle
Brody
Fletcher?
King. Yeah, that's another one.
Wouldn't that be a great, hey, I'm going to, Bandito, you're the Ring of Honor. I'm going to go for the TNT.
Yep.
And have Brody King be in a feud with Kyle Fletcher? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. People seem to really like Brody King.
Yep.
It makes sense. Like, hey, we're all tag team champions, but Bandito, you have another belt.
Yeah.
What if I go get another belt? I think there's lots of other guys to be able to keep running back the same things over and over.
Yeah. Just seems like a stalling pattern right now.
Right.
It's just it makes the TV lack the luster that you would hope for with a Dynamite.
So speaking of Dynamite, they had the big reveal of the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament. What'd you think of the pairings? And so I thought something right away, and I kid sometimes when I say AEW superfan.
Sometimes he really does live up to that gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, he went perfect at the pay-per-view, and we got to give him some credit for that because the two sitting here did not.
No, we did not.
No, you really didn't.
I mean, you know, but that's my gimmick, you know.
There was
that's the gimmick I've established.
There was tiers to this.
I am the Barry O and the SD Jones when it comes to predictions.
Apparently, I'm the Mark Briscoe, and then Ben is like Hangman Page. But he did say, so he disagreed with my initial reaction. So my initial reaction when I saw the pairings for the Women Tag Team Title Tournament AEW was, oh my God, they just put together two teams like for no reason whatsoever, just to make a team. And now those teams are absolutely going to be in the finals against each other. And that was my first instinct, that it would be Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, and they would make the finals on the one side. And just after her face got put in a cake by a puppet,
say that one more time into the microphone.
Right after her face got put into a cake by a puppet, 12 belts. Mercedes Moné, looking for Lucky 13, found a partner in Athena who just scrapped everything that they've been through. It's like, hey, no one else likes that. We should just team again. Okay, great. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
High fives all around.
So my first instinct was Moné and Athena are absolutely going to meet Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa in the finals, and that one of those teams would win. That would not be a real team. Now, I guess I've been humbled a little bit when I didn't think that Bandito and Brody King, that they would stay together and they would push them the way that they are. And I have to admit, they've done a great job.
Yep.
I just did not expect it. So will they do this with one of the women's teams? What do you think of the bracket, some of the other teams in there, and what might happen? They had the big reveal, and then all of a sudden it was just like right before the main event. Oh, here are the teams, and then that's it. I was like,
yeah,
that's,
all right.
That's how you're going to reveal it. But,
yeah.
So what do you think of the brackets?
I like what you said. There was a lot of there were a couple of teams that were just kind of thrown together. I thought maybe they would incorporate some other like lesser known teams into this tournament and be like, oh, this is new and they're part of this tournament. Let's see what they could do. But I had the same initial reaction. To the point where I was thinking Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa are going to win the whole thing. Like if you want to establish those tag belts right away, having Toni Storm with the belt there with Shirakawa and the way that they've built that story over the last, obviously even before AEW, but in front of AEW television as well. So I see them as winning. I think of it the same thought process of Mercedes Moné and Athena in there as well, because you want to have it's the same thing with what happened a couple years ago with the TNT Championship, when you want to establish it, you want to put it on big names, so you had Cody Rhodes win the belt. That's how I see this playing out here with these women's tag team championships. Is you want to have some names holding that belt first, so that people are like, okay, it's legitimate. The top person wants this belt, and you make it seem like, oh, right, people want it.
And the two top people, honestly, like
exactly.
Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm are still the two top people.
Yep. And don't you disrespect the former interim ROH TV champion, Amina Shirakawa.
Right. Interim,
but still that the champion in the record books. So, so she's also involved in this as well. So yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more. I saw as well on Collision that the former Nixon Newell debuted on AEW, and she had a tag team partner whose name escapes me. I have not heard of her before, so apologies on that. But I was like, oh, that would have been cool, like some new names.
Put them in the tournament.
Put them in the tournament.
So what do you think? So Ben's reaction with the speaking for him was that Monet and Athena are going to lose early and have like dissension, and they're going to fight each other, but they're not going to be featured prominently in this tournament. Where I was like, I'm
not confident in that.
Like, why would you get them together at the last minute only to have one match and like tear them apart?
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me. But what would make sense to me is, and do you have the bracket in front of you?
Yep.
So who are Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford fighting, and who are they going to end up fighting, I guess, in because they're going to move forward.
Yep. So Top Gods, as they're being called, at least on Wikipedia, at least.
Top Gods.
So they've had like 3 different names on Wikipedia, so I've been less reliant on them.
But since they've been with FTR, they've been the Top Gods.
And so they're taking on Ty Mello and Anna Jay. And in the other seeding would be Alex Windsor and Rio taking on Toni Storm and Ishikawa.
So I would have Megan Bayne be the tag team champion. Penelope Ford can run with her, and she's not as good.
Literally tag along.
Yeah, but she can be the one to take the pins, so she can be like the MVP of the Shelton Benjamin in the Hurt Syndicate.
Could they hurt people?
No, but Megan Bayne doesn't have to take any pins.
That's true.
So I would have them do something in this tournament, but doesn't seem like they're going to. And then who's Mercedes and Athena's first opponent?
Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron.
Who are the ones that Ben thinks are going to win the whole tournament?
Ben thinks Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron win the whole thing? I don't know. I don't think they're getting past the first round.
Well, I don't either. Then this reminds me about the Billy Starks thing, and I was a bit wrong in the Billy Starks thing. So it's like,
I mean, that was just wrong.
Do I think? Yeah. The pot calling the kettle here.
Look, let me have this one. It's the one I got. I'm just saying, what I heard is like, wow, I wouldn't make that prediction.
No,
but you did. And I know you were like, oh, I'm putting my chin out there. I'm putting my credibility on the line, and you're trying to get the respect and all that. But, I didn't make that pick.
No, for sure. Winning. You didn't make the Statlander winning the title pick either. And I did. I was the only one when I put my chin out, and then, look who's the world champ.
Yeah.
So
just don't give me any Jack Perry matches to predict, and we'll be okay.
No, we're gonna try and stay away from that.
Yeah.
As long as possible to get some credibility back on the show. So I guess it's an interesting tournament that way, but I don't see, like, if they went with Willow and Harley Cameron. The one part of the argument that I think is a fair one. So, and this will lead us into the discussion on Dynamite, was that Mercedes Moné did get put her face into a cake by a puppet. It got a reaction. Apparently not the same reaction from you as it did from people on TV.
Yeah.
But it did get a reaction. And I thought, for as bad as the idea was, because it is a bad idea, they actually did it as well as they possibly were going to. Mercedes was good, but Harley Cameron is very, very, very entertaining. And the one thing about Ben's argument that I can see is they need to find a way to get Harley Cameron on television more. And I think they've been spotting her in, but giving her some legitimacy and some credibility, because she's one of those people that she just, to me, has all of the things to be a wrestler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not all the women have to be like the great looking women, but she's a very good looking girl.
Mm.
She plays guitar.
Yep.
She sings. She's a ventriloquist. She's got a lot of different things going for her to make her super entertaining. Well, wouldn't you use the tag team belts to be able to do something like that? You already have, I mean, honestly, you already have the world title, you have the TBS championship, you have the Ring of Honor world champion, the interim.
Yes.
I guess Mercedes is the interim Ring of Honor television champion.
That's right.
They already have all of these other belts for singles wrestlers. I probably wouldn't put Harley in that like singles run, but to me, this is why you would create these belts, is to give other opportunities to people who probably deserve it. And I heard Harley Cameron on an interview, which I did like that I heard this. She's like, well, I want to get out there and do all this other stuff. I want to, I love the ventriloquism, and I love singing and playing guitar and all that stuff. People said, but you seem pretty dedicated like to the pro wrestling part. And she did say, well, my boss is a fan of pro wrestling.
He runs a pro wrestling company.
Right. So I better be good at that too.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for her. And to me, this is the part of the argument where, like, my first instinct was whoever Tony's with, which is Mina, whoever Mercedes with, okay, that's Athena. They're going to meet in the finals because that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Is there an argument to say that these are the belts that need to be put to the Megan Baines, the Harley Camerons, the Willow Nightingales of the world to be able to do some other stuff?
I like that idea, but I think in order to do that, you have to establish credibility with the belts first. So I think that's why I'm looking at, having that established team in a Tony Storm and a Mina Shirakawa being able to hold those belts first and make it seem legitimate first. Because while I agree with you, there's a lot of future potential for Harley Cameron. I'll talk about the puppet segment in a moment, but there is potential there. You could see why they want to push her. She is very charismatic. She's got a good look. And if she can hone in on her wrestling ability, like, she's got all these other talents, but like what she said, at the end of the day, she's in a wrestling company, and the wrestling still has to be something, especially this company where work rate is something that's much more looked at in AEW. She'll have to get that going up. But in order to get all of that, where you put a title on her, I think you got to put it on belts that are previously established so that you could say, oh, she's joined a lineage of like Tony Storm, who's held the women's championship, and obviously having Mina Shirakawa there, who's also, like, I think has been firmly established as challenging for the title and somebody that you could take legitimately, or even others, like, even if they decide to go the route with Mercedes Moné and Athena, I think that would also establish the belts too, because you're talking about title reigns. So I like that idea, but I think that would be more for something down the line. And plus, I think the idea is, while we're looking at it from the Harley Cameron perspective, there's also the Willow Nightingale aspect, where I think they want to save her big sort of title win ceremony for something later in the singles division. Because there's something that could be there with Chris Statlander, and there's something that can be there with Mercedes Moné. So I think that's the way to go on that aspect. So I like that idea, but I think you have to establish the titles first before you go down that road.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the puppet segment?
Oh, it sucked. It sucks.
Okay, so what sucked about it?
It felt like I was watching WWE in 2018. Felt like something Vince would write. It's like, throw it into because now WWE is testing AI, and they are trying to find different creative ideas. put that into
How
the
do you
AI
know
machine.
that? Maybe AI generated the AI story about WWE. And
Maybe. Maybe that's
right?
true. Maybe that's true. Like AIception or
That's
something like that. So, AI, the WWE coming up with a brilliant idea of Bobby Lashley being big into Japanese culture, even though Bobby Lashley.
Hey, what'd you think of the puppet segment?
Oh, it sucked.
So,
it was just bad.
do you
It was
not think they executed it okay?
Oh, it got a pop, I guess, from the 2,000 people in the building. So good on them for the buildings that they're having a tough time drawing in for their TV shows. But they got a reaction from those people, Lee. So I guess that's A-okay. Sure, it might not be the 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 fans that AEW used to draw for their Dynamite tapings in the past. But, it's 2,000 people and they're all cheering. So what am I? Who am I to judge and criticize this segment?
Well, you're a very well-known wrestling podcaster. So
imagine sitting there. I'm sitting there on the watching the TV and seeing Mercedes Moné talking to a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I've got better things to do with my life than to watch this professional wrestler who I know can go out there and do this thing called wrestle
Mm-hmm.
and talking to this puppet legitimately. And then, putting the puppet's face in the cake and then taking the cake.
So it was a bad idea.
It was bad.
They wanted the look of her face in the cake and her being very distressed and looking not like a champion. And so it was their way of getting there. I agree. Not my thing.
Is AEW a wrestling company?
Yes.
Well, then why are they booking segments like this? Where's the standard? Where's the standard? Like, didn't AEW come on the scene because it's like, we're the best wrestle? Isn't that the tagline?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what Tony Khan likes to go out there on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter and social media, the pressers, and say, AEW is where the best wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
All the best wrestlers come in here. If I'm trying to advertise and sell my company as the alternative, this is where true professional wrestling is. Why am I booking a segment that I could easily implement onto WWE Raw in 2018, 2019, even now, I would say in 2022, 2023, and you're trying to portray yourself as an alternative? Well, I mean, but I'm sure those road agents back there, they were just patting themselves on the shoulder. Oh, great job, guys. We were able to pop the 1,500 people in the building. Good job, guys.
Okay, so I didn't like it either. I'm just trying to be neutral.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, where are they going with it? Like, they're trying to, it was something for Statlander to get the upper hand.
Yep.
And have her look strong because she did look weak.
Yep.
To Mercedes before. So I probably wouldn't have gone with the puppet myself.
Yeah.
For Chris Statlander to look strong against Mercedes Moné.
Yeah. You mean after Statlander walked off when Mercedes Moné, that same Chris Statlander?
And for all the apologists, they're going to tell me that they only did that so that Statlander could come back. I don't care why they did it. It was wrong.
It was just badly executed.
It was.
I know you're talking about fairness, but I can only be fair if WWE is going to go out there with that Mr. Iguana guy
Mm-hmm.
and have his little puppet, and I got to sit there and watch the Mr. Iguana with his little puppet
Mm-hmm.
and be like, I don't like this. I can only be fair by having to watch the same programming where they tell me
Mm-hmm.
it's an alternative. We're not like those guys. This is where the best wrestle. Oh, by the way, here's a segment where a puppet is getting his face put into the cake.
So, okay, I do want to change. We agree. We agree here. It's just about trying to get Harley Cameron on television, but I don't think they should sacrifice that for their world championship and doing it in other spots. So,
did the AEW superfan defend that segment?
Funny, he
never brought it up.
Yeah, he gets awfully silent when it comes to negative things.
All right,
he's one of those. He'll tell you all about the positive things.
Yeah,
but the negative things
never brings it up.
Never really brings
Seems
it
to
up.
get lost. Lee, I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's too many puppets in pro wrestling. Like, think about that. There's too many. We used to make fun of Rocco when he was there with the Road Warriors. We were like, why are the Road Warriors
Oh, that was bad.
coming out with a puppet?
The only two puppets or whatever that
I could deal with Mr. Socko.
Mr. Socko and the Cobra. Santino Marella, he was an entertaining guy.
Pushing it for me, but fine.
Yeah, but he was super entertaining. And so what they didn't do a lot though, like for me, is like Santino, I guess I stand to be corrected about getting involved in world titles and all of that stuff. Like maybe he did because the other people were entertaining, but it seemed to me in that particular segment that they did it to get Statlander to look good against Mercedes after Mercedes made her look bad. And it's like, I don't think you need a puppet to get Statlander to look good. And that's why they did it.
Yep.
And that's the part that I don't like about it.
Yep.
But let's switch gears here a little bit.
Yep.
Said last episode that we're going to maybe do a bit more of a deep dive into Mercedes Moné and all the belts. She's got 12 belts now. Beat Jody Threat in Winnipeg. Looking for the 13th belt in the tag team title tournament. So I'm going to take... Like, do you think this is good for pro wrestling?
That's an interesting question. I haven't thought of it that angle, but my immediate reaction is yes. That you have a top star that's traveling to all these different promotions and challenging for these belts and kind of putting these like continuing this character. Like, I mean, they're blatantly talking about how it's essentially the Ultimo Dragon stuff, or the Ultimo Dragon run, that famous picture of him with all the belts. So this is just kind of the female version of that. Like, she's to the point where she's calling herself Ultimone, right? So to me, in terms of like getting eyeballs on different promotions, and like I saw that there was a little Twitter conversation with the promoter from Winnipeg Pro Wrestling and saying, oh, like my show, like as soon as I announced Mercedes was challenging for the belt, like my ticket sales went up, and more people now know what Winnipeg Pro Wrestling is in that area. So I think it's a good thing, personally.
Okay, so let's go back to more people know what in Winnipeg about Winnipeg Pro Wrestling?
Yep.
Because, I mean, she got 12 belts.
Yep.
We're talking about Winnipeg as the last one, and it's in Canada. I have no idea what belt she has. I know she's got the TBS Championship. She's got, is it the world title from CMLL?
Yep.
Okay. And she's got the Winnipeg one.
There's the Rev Pro one, I believe, that she's also won.
Okay, but the ones I know, and then she's got the interim Ring of Honor Mina Shirakawa belt.
Yeah, so that one I.
So
I
there's 4, but I only know the Winnipeg one because it's Canadian.
Yep.
I don't know what the other 8 ones are, and I guess when I ask you, is this good for pro wrestling? There's no doubt that her coming into a territory, like if she came into Ottawa, she goes into Winnipeg, wherever she goes, she is going to draw money when people want to go see her. She's not one of these older veterans that's at the very end of a run, that's just trying to, she's in the prime of her career, really. And she is a big star. So I always think, like, if she came to Ottawa, would people go see her? Yeah, of course they would. Pretty much sells out in Ottawa almost every week or month anyway. Yep. So what would the draw be for Ottawa to bring her? Like, to get the belt on TV? Okay, I watch AEW every week. I don't know what any of those belts are. So do I think it's good for the independents? Yes. It's hard. Like, how could you say it's not when Winnipeg's telling you, yeah, we run our thing, and Mercedes Moné comes in and we make way more money. Yep. And she then has our belt, so you know that she has to come back. And she just went to CMLL and defended her title. But at some point, she's going to have to drop these. Yep. So you know she's coming back again, which is like the least that you get as a fan. You're going to get to see her twice. Which in Winnipeg or in freaking Austria or wherever else she's got belts.
Spain, I think, was one of them, yeah.
Yeah. That's great. You get to see Mercedes Moné in like these kind of small towns. I don't understand from the AEW perspective why this is so great. I'm having a hard time relating to this. Because Chris Statlander is your champion. Chris Statlander is still below Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. Mercedes walks around like she is the champion. She got 12 belts. She's never held the big belt. And blew her only opportunity and like she's 0-1 in AEW World Women's title matches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand where they're going to go with her character with all of these belts. Is she just going to drop them anonymously? Like, do they have an actual story written for this? And if they do, and this is where I'll leave you to wherever you want to talk about, if they do, to me, the story would be that she's exhausted. She's running around the world. She starts losing the titles, and she goes from riches to rags.
Mm-hmm.
That would be at least logical to me. And then she falls down to the bottom and then has to work her way up. Oh, but they're doing that with the Young Bucks right now.
Just gonna say, do you want to do skits of her going to the casino and trying to get her money back? And
No, but so then I'll just sort of ask you. I just told you some of my thoughts, but I'll ask you as blank canvas as I can. What is the end game here? Like, what for AEW? So I think most people can understand for these independent promotions. She comes in, they make a ton of money, star power. You're probably going to bring your kid to go watch Mercedes Moné wrestle.
Yep.
Even if you don't know any of the people, the independent card, you're going to go to watch her, and you're going to bring your kid to watch her because we know who she is and she's awesome. So for the independent promotions, you're probably going to have a little bit of a spike.
Mm-hmm.
And if the other wrestlers don't like it in your company, too bad, they're going to make more money. And she's only going to be there a couple of times before she'll lose it. So it's good for those people. Tell me why it's good for AEW.
There is one way that they could do it, but again, this kind of goes back to like filling in the blanks. We have a term for it, but essentially fantasy booking it.
Yeah.
But the one title that always seems to elude her is that AEW Women's World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
She has not been able to win it. In a way, you can highlight this where she goes out and she's able to win all these belts in all these different countries, all these different promotions, but there's that one belt that she can never truly be able to capture, and that's that Women's World Championship. And in a way, that elevates that Women's World Championship as well, because you have, like, obviously the promotions are getting the benefit. They have a big star going there taking the title, but you still put that Women's World Championship on a pedestal saying this is like the top prize for women's wrestlers in professional wrestling. And the woman that's been going around and getting all these belts still can't find a way to secure that championship. And that can go back into the story of Mercedes Moné, just like she claims she's the best, but she can never truly say she's the best without that title. And so that's the way I kind of see it with that, where you can do it's in a weird way, it kind of elevates that Women's World Championship so that you can eventually do that big title match. Like, because she's eventually, like, looks like they're doing Moné and Statlander at Full Gear, and that can put even more emphasis and importance on that. And while I agree with you too, like, I am not familiar with all the championships that she's won. I think that goes back to like commentary being like, oh, she's won championships in Spain and this country and kind of putting that over a little bit more. They've been trying to do the presentation of like all the guys holding the belts as they're walking in.
And it was cool at the beginning.
Yep.
But all of a sudden the frat house is out at the pay-per-view and Griff Garrison and like and London Lightning was out there one time. It's like, okay, you've run out of ideas now.
Yeah.
It was actually cool at the beginning when everyone came out and all the guys had championships and they were dressed up, but it seems like they've gotten even lazy with that now.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many more ways are we going to be able to do this?
Yeah. And especially like with the interim women's TV championship, like that's when it gets a little weird for me. Like, it'd be one thing if it's all these companies' top titles, you know?
Right.
Like, that's cool. Like getting the CMLL Women's World Championship and the Rev Pro Women's World Championship for them and all these other companies, their women's championship. That's cool. But, you know, I don't think people are sitting back thinking, oh, this really puts this title reign over the top because she's now the interim TV champion.
I just don't see how they're going to get out of this without, like, what's the story? Is she just going to lose them anonymously? Is she going to have one big crash?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be hard to lose 12 belts. Like, as people say, oh, can't believe she's got 12 belts. It's going to be hard to lose them all.
Yep.
You have to go to all the different companies and all the different promotions and lose all of them.
Yep.
So are they going to highlight those losses? Or are they just going to kind of slip it by where like maybe she wins the AEW Women's World title sooner than you're saying,
Mhm.
and the other titles just get
Put off to the
pushed aside
side
because now she's
the women's world champion.
she's the
and,
double champ of AEW or something like that. So there's something there that's not connecting with me, and it's why I brought this up in the first place, is because I understand what they're doing, and she's a great wrestler, but what is the story here? Like, is the story what you said, that she can't win the big one, and if she loses to Statlander, it's going to be like she can win all these other things, and that kind of downgrades the other titles a little bit? She can go and win those, but she can't win the big one. I just think it would be a really good opportunity for her to start getting, I'm flying all the way around the world, because she did last weekend. She defended in Mexico on Friday night, and then came in on Saturday at the AEW pay-per-view and beat Mina Shirakawa, and then went to Winnipeg on Sunday and beat Jody Threat.
Yep.
And it's like, that's a really cool story.
Yep.
Like, she won in 3 different countries in 3 different nights, and defended all of her championships and won, like, in Mexico and the US and Canada. Like, that's pretty cool. So is that the story that you're going with? That this is freaking Superwoman? Or is the story going to be that she can't win the big one? And to me, the only way to get out of that would be she starts getting exhausted, tired, losing her edge. One slips away, another one slips away. Now she can't believe that they're slipping away. And now she only got 4 belts left.
Right.
And which is crazy, right?
Right.
And then she loses them all and then wins the AEW Women's World title. But it's like, if that's your big plan, because I actually think that's the plan that makes the most sense to me, that she starts getting really tired, flying all around the world, and then trying to figure it out, and starts losing them all, losing her confidence, loses all of them, has no confidence, and then is able to get herself back up and win the AEW Women's World title. But they're literally doing this with the Bucks right now, which would be, okay, well, you can't do it with her because you're doing it with 2 major stars in your company.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? And that's where the disconnect is for me. Cool story. Like, if they had cameras following her and put out a little thing of what it's like to go to Mexico and then the US and then Canada on 3 different nights and put that package together, I'm interested. That
would be really cool.
Right. But they're not really doing that either.
No.
So on the AEW television, which I think is different from the rest of what's good for pro wrestling, I don't connect with what's happening with her on AEW. I connect with the rest of it.
Yep.
And I connect with how great it is for the world of independent pro wrestling. I don't connect on TV on AEW. That's all.
That's fair.
Let's go to the WWE. It's definitely some development since we talked last. There's so much. Let's talk about Jey Uso winning the Battle Royal.
Get fired up.
Okay.
Get
I
fired
will.
up.
And then all of a sudden, all the stories that are leaking out about it's the most disliked video on YouTube since this one. Now Jey Uso's got the 3 top disliked YouTube videos.
Yep.
So Jey Uso coming up against CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title on Saturday night's main event. I'll ask you before I tell you what I think. What do you think happens?
I think CM Punk's winning the championship. I think they're gonna find a way to. I just can't foresee them putting the belt back on Jey Uso. Not because I'm trying to put personal aside, because I think he's too tied up with the stuff with Roman and Jimmy and more bloodline stuff, which I feel like I've been saying now for 3 years because
Mhm.
I have been saying that for 3 years. But I feel like they're got him tied up there. And where does Punk go after this? Because Punk was so tied with Rollins, ever since he debuted in the company. So that's my deal. It's like I think the World Heavyweight Championship is going to Punk. I just can't see the scenario where Jey Uso being World Heavyweight Champion fits into the Bloodline storyline for me.
Okay. Well, there's two scenarios here
Okay.
that I think you have not mentioned. Number one would be Jey Uso winning and obviously being disliked and probably getting booed and maybe cheating a little bit to win. Kind of like, I would say, the Cody cheating, where it's like
Okay.
some heel tactics, but not necessarily full heel. But do you not think that there's some legitimacy to Jey Uso winning and trending more towards Roman leading him in different situations to be, I told you, you stick with me, you learn how to do things my way, and Roman's really controlling the belt storyline with Jey Uso having it? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes.
Okay.
I do think that's a possibility.
I'll throw another scenario at you.
All right.
Who's got the belt right now?
Well, it is vacated currently, but if you mean the actual
do.
physical belt, Braun Breaker is carrying that belt around.
Okay. I will give you the finish that you will not like.
Okay.
And that is, there will be no winner of the World Heavyweight Championship on Saturday night's main event. And the Vision come out to make sure that nobody is touching Braun's or Seth's belt. And CM Punk, Jey Uso, I don't care. You guys can fight all you want. You're not winning this. We are going to wreck everything, to the point where they were kicked out of the Battle Royal because they couldn't win it. They will be forced into the situation almost by probably Punk and maybe Jey Uso as well, that these two fight. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed come in. They absolutely destroy everybody, say nobody's getting the belt. We are keeping this belt. And to the point where Punk and Uso have to go to Adam Pearce and go to everybody else and say, well, we need them in the picture because we need the belt back, because they're not going to give it back. And it keeps the Vision at the very top. It keeps them looking strong. And at some point, maybe they just win it anyway down the line for when Seth comes back. Or maybe somebody else comes out to be a part of this. I still think this group is Brock Lesnar's group to be a part of.
Yep.
But if you really wanted to make it strong, wouldn't you have this be like a no finish, nobody wins the title, and Braun Breaker is going to carry that thing around for a long time going, I don't care what you do.
This is mine.
This is mine. I'm starting to convince you. I can see that look in your eye that you don't like this scenario.
Oh, I hate the idea, but I could see the idea happening. Oh, man.
But to the point of, okay,
like at that point, like just go all the way and put the belt on him, like legitimately, and just call him champion.
but they will.
They eventually will, but I mean, like, do it now. Like, find, like, if you're gonna do that, like, when I saw Breaker with that World Heavyweight Championship belt, I was like, oh, put the belt on him right, like, call him champion right now.
Right.
Just do it.
It looked good.
I'm like, that's a world champion right there.
Right.
Like, just do it. So,
But this is a way maybe of getting there, and you'll like the fact that it will continue the humiliation tour.
I'm CM Punk. Well, that's true.
It will keep him on the
yes.
sort of outside. He got screwed over once again.
Yes.
And because if they do this, Punk's not winning on Saturday, and then Punk won't beat Braun Breaker for the title or any of those guys, and the Vision will continue to be strong. And Punk, I guess my argument would be, for everything you've done with CM Punk, do you really think winning the World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso on what might not even probably not be the main event? I don't know.
Probably not.
Whether it is or it isn't, is that a big enough stage? Like, shouldn't Punk win it like win the Rumble and like win it at WrestleMania, or like have a big moment for Punk?
Well, I'm thinking that's what they're trying to do with Breakker, is wait for it so that he can have his big moment elsewhere instead of Saturday night's main event. I think Punk you could totally do on a Saturday night's main event. Like, I understand this is a moment's company, but this is also CM Punk. Like, he's had quite a few moments, and Punk, I will put Punk to his word on this one. He is always somebody that's preached about putting over the next generation. He talks about the Terry Funk mentality, and I'm sure that CM Punk has the same idea about Braun Breaker that everybody else does, where he sees money in him and he says, "Oh, I can be that guy that could put over Braun Breaker." So you could continue the feud with Seth Rollins and Punk, but relate it back to Breaker is like, you're not dealing with him anymore. Now you're dealing with me, somebody different, somebody who, I was going to say genetic freak, but that would be a little bit too in line with his relative there. But, you know, do something like that. Like, I get where you're coming from, but I think we need to stop worrying about moments for guys that have already had their moments and start worrying about moments for guys that you want to push. Moment? Well, Punk had his main events at WrestleMania. He had that moment.
Not a moment. He lost.
Well, he lost, but he got to main event in WrestleMania, so it's a moment.
He has not had a moment in WWE.
He had the lengthy title reign. He had the pipe bomb.
No, I mean since he's come back.
Oh, since he's come back, that's fine with me. Like,
yes, but they will build up to a moment for him. But to me, main event, Saturday night's main event, Jey Uso. That's where they're gonna crown them the new world. No, they haven't done anything that leads me to believe that they're not gonna long story build CM Punk to like this final moment. Like,
I guess my question is, why does he need the moment?
What do you mean, now or at the end?
Like why is the thought process
next year?
Like, why is the thought process just in general of him having a moment?
Because CM Punk is still one of the most popular athletes in the history of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And he still is a major draw in WWE.
Yep.
That's why.
So why does he need a moment? If he's got all this stuff already, why does he need a moment? Is what I'm saying. Like,
did I need a year to watch John Cena retire? Do I need, honestly, and I mean this like super sincerely, do I need to watch all the footage of every single person and their grandmother coming up to AJ Styles in Japan and understanding, the Bullet leader of the Bullet Club, and everybody's like all aghast that they said this on WWE TV.
Yeah, it's even though they've said it before.
Right. Like, do I need a half of a year of AJ Styles retiring? And when Chris Jericho comes in to WWE and gets his retirement tour, am I going to need that? No. But CM Punk's bigger than all of those guys.
Yeah. But those are all short-term gains in terms of getting that. Like, I'm thinking long-term here with Braun Breaker. Like, I'm thinking, like, you want to try and get that moment. Like, wouldn't that be great for Braun Breaker to beat CM Punk at his peak and see have all these people?
I think he probably will.
Yeah.
But CM Punk will beat him in a year or wherever that's going to be.
Right.
I have a hard time imagining CM Punk's going to win anything at WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So do they do it before that so he can lose it? I think CM Punk is going to have a moment that's going to be a really big moment. I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
Right.
So why I'm asking you all of this is because I just cannot see CM Punk because Jey Uso isn't going to win. So they're going to give the title to Punk.
I just don't like the double count. Like, to me, it's like, it just goes back, and this might just be personal philosophy here, but it's like, if you know you got a guy, I said this in another podcast recently, but I said, if you've got a guy. Hold on. Sorry. I knew I was going to.
On another podcast. Yes. First of all, which podcast is this?
This was the Blue Collar Sports podcast with Savage Paulson, former professional wrestler, current baseball coach.
Right. The guy that you put out all the videos with.
Yeah. Well, he puts out the videos.
Right.
Yes.
And he looks like a how do I say this politely?
Former MMA fighter, but by the way, before you continue on.
Oh, he looks vicious and mean.
Yeah.
Like, I could probably take him out with one punch. Like, he would crumble and his knees would literally come to the ground.
Yes.
He looks like he's the fake tough guy, but he looks really menacing compared to you on video. So I get why he asked you to come on his blue collar.
Blue collar sports.
You don't name drop on this podcast, okay?
I did name drop.
Don't be like.
I said on another podcast, like, all right, let's delve deeper.
Yeah,
it's like all right.
on another podcast. Like, I was just doing another one. Yeah. You're the host of this one.
That's true.
Okay.
But I bring it back to here for those that might not have heard it. Sometimes when you got a guy, Lee, you push him. Just push the guy. That's the big problem in all the companies right now. They're like, oh, maybe we'll do these like little half measures where he'll lose a couple matches, but he's on TV and he's with all the stars. So by osmosis, because he's with all these big stars, he's also a big star.
Hold on. So like Roman Reigns, when they pushed him for 4 years and you complained?
Oh my God.
That's exactly what you're asking for.
There's also a talent analysis thing that has to go into it.
Roman Reigns is a big star.
Oh, he's a big star. Oh yeah. But they pushed him. Like they recognize him as like,
so that was a good idea to push him.
Well, they didn't push him right. They saw a guy and they pushed it. The problem is they could have done it any worse, giving him the worst dialogue. Suffering Succotash is still stuck in my head from the time that he talked about it.
Yeah, but that was way before. Once the 2020 and he got the title and the 1,000-day reign and all that stuff.
No, but like.
But you complained about how long that was.
Oh, it was a lengthy. They should have.
Once you got a guy, push him. And that's exactly what they did.
And if it's not working, you try something else.
But it worked.
Yeah, it did work. That's what I'm saying. What are we arguing about? It's like
we're arguing about that. You want a Roman Reigns push, but when Roman Reigns was being pushed, all you did was complain about the push.
Well, I wasn't complaining about the push. I was complaining about how they pushed him. Like I wasn't complaining that they pushed a guy. I'm all for new people in wrestling. The problem was the way that they pushed it. It's like, let's just give him the absolute worst dialogue to work with. And, the guy was clearly not ready in terms of charisma and whatnot. There's a difference. Like, at that time, Roman's like, oh, maybe he's a guy, but, like, I don't think he's got the charisma, whatnot. Sometimes you do have to push a guy to see if he could get to that level.
Well,
and that's what they tried to do. But then they just stuck to the same course and didn't, like, pivot. Because here's the thing. I'll go the other way. They pushed Dwayne Johnson back in 97, 98 as this blue chipper, Rocky Maivia, third generation star.
I remember.
Oh, I know you know.
Super bad.
And guess what? You know what they did? They pivoted. They said they turned him heel, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, this guy's super charismatic. He's a lot more confident in his skin. And the thing with the Roman push was they kept pushing him into something that he was just not comfortable in. So what I'm saying in this case is that with Braun Breaker, it's pretty clear that you, I, everybody else is saying this is a guy that you want to push. This is a guy that could be a top guy. Just push him.
So people will remember this conversation when I told you there's going to be a no finish.
Yes.
And that Punk or Uso isn't going to win.
Yeah, and we're just going to stall this out longer.
Gonna push Braun Breaker.
Yes.
And this is how they're going to do it. Your official prediction is still CM Punk.
I still think Punk, I think you're going to go a different route. If they do a no contest, no DQ, not no DQ, but like double disqualification.
You don't think that's a good idea?
I don't love, I hate that for a big event.
Yeah, but it won't be the
especially
main event.
when you've been doing run-ins, like every time we review a WWE PLE, there's at least 17,000 run-ins on each show.
Okay, so
it'd be one thing if they had protected the run-ins.
What do you think they're going to do with division to make them strong if there is no interference in this match?
Well, you could have them be in the title picture. I mean, they are protecting the division. I want to make that clear. They clearly didn't put them in the Battle Royal because they want to save them. They don't want to have them lose in the Battle Royal. I agree with that aspect of it. I think eventually it's going to lead to Braun Breaker challenging Punk.
Okay.
I think that would be a marquee matchup. And wouldn't it be like something that, Braun Breaker's this absolute dominant beast is going to go in there with CM Punk, who, like, let's not, a little injury prone, that CM Punk,
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is he going to fare against a Braun Breaker? And then that can really put him over as well. Like, I think you could do a lot more by having him beat a CM Punk clean, as opposed to, like, delaying this a little further down the line.
That's fair. I mean, if Punk wins and then Breaker beats him soon.
Yep.
It probably does a lot for Breaker. So I understand your point. Ilja Dragunov comes back in Sami Zayn's U.S. Open Challenge for the title. Dragunov beats Sami Zayn, and then the first opponent, he's going to continue the Open Challenge, and Aleister Black.
With Zelina Vega.
With Zelina Vega. A couple things here.
Did it remind you of a certain other
Did it
duo?
remind me, or did they completely rip off my man and my girl, Mr. Cross and Scarlett? Did they completely just rip it off? And is this exactly why they let him go with no interest in bringing him back? Because they had another guy and girl that they could do the same thing with.
Yep.
He just put out a new documentary. I haven't seen it. I think it's called "I'm the One Who Got Worked," or
well, he would be correct in that instance, but yes.
That's not it.
He kind of worked himself into a shoot, but
I don't think that's. I think he was just being.
That's pretty fair.
I think he was just being honest, and you don't like honesty.
No, come on now.
You don't like honesty.
I love me some honesty, especially when it makes me laugh.
Do you think Karrion Kross has been dishonest?
No.
Okay.
That's what makes it even funnier.
So he's honest, and he just gets crapped on.
Yep.
And that's funny.
Yes, it's very funny. It's really funny.
You know what?
I mean, he's such a big star, Lee.
If you think I'm scared of Mr. X MMA blue collar guy, I'm gonna get Karrion over here, and we'll see if you say these words in front of him. I'm
sure he'll have the lights darkened, and he'll just look into the camera.
My man, Karrion Killer Kross.
Yeah.
And Scarlett, and you're just like throwing them. I actually think that sucks. I think the getting back to what we saw in the programming.
Yep.
A couple of thoughts on. So they clearly ripped this off, and Aleister Black and Zelina should be ashamed of themselves, and I mean this. They should be ashamed of themselves for as creative a mind as Aleister Black wants the perception to be.
Yes.
Of he's the smartest guy in all of wrestling, because he would like you to believe that.
Oh, absolutely.
What he ends up coming out with his wife for the first time at this new "I'm a Star Again" in WWE is exactly what Karrion Kross did. He should be ashamed of himself for that. But what did you think of Aleister Black coming back, fighting Dragunov, the entrance, and Dragunov coming and having basically Sami Zayn's role now as the U.S. champion with an open challenge?
I like it. Somebody new. It's one of the things that I continue to advocate on this show. Like, it's been a while since we've seen Dragunov, and we know what he could bring to the ring. I'm still waiting for that Gunther rematch at some point. So those matches were just unreal, awesome. And so I hope that they eventually rekindle that once Gunther gets back on TV. But first, he'll have to deal with John Cena in his retirement match at Saturday Night's Main Event in December. But I digress, Lee. In this case, I am enjoying Ilja Dragunov and him being able to come back. And for what I like to say about Aleister Black, which is a lot, he is still, I think there's still a talented wrestler there. When he's not too deep into his thoughts and thinking, I put this logo on my socks, and once the fans see the logo, they understand the deeper meaning of that logo because I'm so brilliant and I'm so smart. Right. I'm smarter than you,
The irony of him coming out to a entrance that's completely ripped off and not his own idea,
yes,
is actually funny to me. Yeah. I still think he should be ashamed of himself for putting him into that spot.
Yep.
But it was so funny when I saw it. I felt bad for Karrion. I honestly did.
Yeah.
But the smartest guy in all of wrestling and the most creative mind in the history of the world had to have somebody else make his entrance for him.
Yes.
Come on.
So good.
But to his credit a little bit, he is one of the guys that we've heard at least rumors about will not lay his shoulders down to many people. Yeah. And he came out and laid his shoulders down to Ilja Dragunov.
Yeah. So because for whatever reason, WWE is able to get the message across to their guys like, hey, we can cut you at any time. Like we legitimately can cut you at any time at TKO. So I think that message also being sent to Aleister Black, being like, I'll be good. I'll be
Right.
good. I'll keep
So
the
he
shoulders
did lay
down.
his shoulders down
I'll keep the shoulders
to
down.
Dragunov. So
All of a sudden, those back problems people kept talking about. Oh, is Saul magically
Yeah.
healed? And
I like the fact that Dragunov is the champ too. He's got some charisma. He certainly can have some great matchups with other people.
Yeah.
And
he's one of those guys that in a post Vince era, Vince would not push him.
Right.
So that also makes it to me like somebody that could stand out. It's like, oh, now that Triple H is booking, my favorite wrestling booker in all of professional wrestling, Triple H, that he can go out there and push a guy, and that establishes his vision, right? So
I like the pairing of Aleister Black with his wife Selena. Again, it's another piece in the Triple H and Stephanie winning that
oh, it's all coming together.
title. When I
It's
saw
all
them
coming
together, I'm like, just another team for my tournament. My tournament.
Yeah. Once the guitar riff hits, it's gonna be so good. Time to play the game.
I'm telling you, when we got Cody, we got Punk, we got Aleister Black,
Seth Rollins when he comes back from injury.
Seth Rollins, Becky.
Yeah. But they will all have to bow down, Lee, to the King of Kings in the mixed match challenge.
It's gonna be yeah, that's when Zelina was first there, I'm like, oh my god, just another team in my mixed match. This is incredible
Another
news.
sacrifice to the game.
We can get it's great because there's tiers too, right? Because you have I'm trying to think of all the guys. You have Maxine Dupree and the former Alouette guy who's in
Oh yeah, that's true.
LFG.
Anthony Luke, I think is his name?
Luke. Yeah, he used to play for the Montreal Alouettes.
Yep.
In the CFL, but he and Maxine Dupree.
Call up Matt Cardona, the king of the Indies, who also makes it clear he wants to go back to WWE.
You pretty much have him. Like he's in TNA right now. Like yeah, absolutely. Him and Chelsea.
Yeah.
There's tiers. It's like I'm looking at the quarterfinals and I'm like, but I'm like, nah, there's some teams that could win a round of 16 match, like Cardona and Chelsea, like, but that Final Four. You start to get to the Final Four and you're like, all right.
The anticipation builds.
I got Cody and Brandy. I got Punk and AJ Lee. I got Seth and Becky.
Yep.
And then I could put Aleister and Zelina. Could put anybody else in there.
Nice.
And then the finals hit, and then the time to play the game.
Do.
Oh, I'm just dreaming of the television.
And I need Triple H to come out in that full WrestleMania entrance garb too when he goes out and eventually lays the pedigree. Or that Terminator style costume he had at 31.
Yeah.
Had the little laser on his eye. I'm like, I don't remember the game being all futuristic, and I guess he is friends with Schwarzenegger, so. But yeah. Oh, it's all coming together, Lee.
Right. It's all coming together.
Who's going to sponsor that match, that tournament? Because you know that WWE would look for a sponsorship in that case. It would be Aries again, so that they can have their EMF-free matches, so that...
Feels like Ozempic could get in there.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one, actually.
And all of a sudden, there's a little tagline of... What is it? It's like something like what is it? Like I should check in. I should find out. I should ask. Well, it's something about asking.
Yes.
Like,
I'm unsure.
I should probably ask.
Yeah.
Or I should
talk to your doctor.
Talk to
your doctor about Ozempic.
The big
Time
O.
to play the game.
The big O is sitting there. You could just see.
It's gonna be so good. I can't wait when it all eventually all the puzzle pieces fall together and sponsored by Snickers or something like that. You know, you're not you when you're hungry, Triple H.
You just wait until when all of this is going to build. You wait. I see another quarterfinalist. All right, maybe a semifinalist, depending. And that's Jimmy and...
Oh, right. Yes,
Naomi.
That's another one.
Right?
Oh, jeez.
Like
oh, my God.
There's a lot. And she comes back. I want my title back.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know what
she could go in and ruin a match, but everybody cheers for it because it's a big moment for her, like they did with Rhea and Io. And I was like, wow, this is a great match ruined by Naomi, but everybody's chanting "You deserve it" after we got screwed out of a championship match.
And who's isn't Damian Priest dating?
Oh yeah, Lola Vice.
Lola Vice.
That's right.
Feels
Man,
like,
this field is like
I know it's
ever
stacked.
expanding.
It is stacked.
You might want to make the phone call because it sounds like, although Tony did say that Britt Baker will be coming back soon, which was interesting.
No, he didn't say that.
Well, sorry, I shouldn't say
No,
that.
he
said,
didn't. Don't lead
sorry,
people astray.
He said, I'm looking forward to her return.
I would like to see her back.
That's true.
That doesn't mean that she's going back.
Fair enough. My apologies. That's me jumping to a conclusion there. That's I'm just as bad as the aggregators out there on social media.
That was not good.
No.
Because I think he was just saying she's still under contract. So he's basically saying, "Oh, I'd love to have her back.
Yeah,
I'd love to see
like he's not the booker.
I don't know. She all her posts on social media, and she's on with like DraftKings, and she's doing all this stuff, and she doesn't look hurt.
Nope. Probably ready to go.
Looks ready to go.
Yep.
She looks in great shape.
Yep. But she could be like a defection over to WWE, and maybe you could try and lure Adam Cole over there, and you could have like a surprise.
What's
team.
going on with Buddy? Who's he with now?
Rhea Ripley.
No, like
Buddy
he's
Murphy?
with AEW.
Yes. Oh, he's still with AEW. Yeah.
Yeah, but is he?
Well, he's technically still has a contract to All Elite Wrestling.
I wonder for how long.
Maybe he'll go from 5% body fat to 4% during that time. Just continues to be like the most shredded man in professional wrestling.
If he ever came back with Rhea,
yep,
people would go crazy.
Absolutely.
There's just so many people that could be involved in this.
This is incredible. This is real. I mean, we're really rounded out a field here.
I'm thinking now this is going to be like a 2-month long 32 team tournament here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You could start your own separate show with this.
205 into
yes,
the Big O. All right. Anything else on your mind here, Zach?
Nothing much else on my mind. I just been not a lot happening in pro wrestling right now. I know Halloween Havoc happened yesterday, the NXT show, which I refused to watch. A lot of women's
title changes.
Yes.
So Blake Monroe wins the North American Championship. Paxum, no, what am I?
Tatum Paxley. Yes.
Beats JC Jade for the NXT Women's Championship.
Yep.
And I saw Ethan Page and Ricky Saints retained.
Yep.
But a lot of focus on the women.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was another.
I'm not the person to ask. I avoid NXT like the plague, and especially some of those matches that were announced yesterday. But I didn't need to see a broken Matt Hardy in 2025.
Oh, that was the other. So the Hardys lost to Dark State.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they did their thing with the Dudleys and
which Matt Hardy said is a 5-star classic and will be remembered for generations to come.
Yeah, so
did Bubba.
I like Bubba. Bully Ray.
Yeah.
I really think he's one of the smartest guys when you listen to him about the way that he breaks things down. I think he's super intelligent. And then you hear this, like, this was a 5-star match because of the way that the crowd reacted. And it had all of the elements. And it's like, do you not understand that the element missing was the good wrestling?
Yeah. That always seems to slip these people's minds.
And you might, like, they would get on and tell us that the crowd was on their feet and they never sat down and they were emotionally connected and all this stuff. Okay. Yeah, I can get into the nostalgia part. Yep. I was a big, Dudley Boys fan. I wasn't as big a Hardy's guy, but a lot of people were. And I can get into the nostalgia part of it.
Yep.
And that they booked it smartly. I understand all of what they're telling me. And I think they did some really good things on the outside. But for me, 5-star matches have to have the great wrestling in between.
Yep. For all the talk about how Dave Meltzer doesn't matter and who listens to Dave Meltzer and why do we talk about Dave Meltzer, boy, do they ever talk about 5-star matches so many times.
It is like when people say, is that a 5-star match? It's like the standard that everybody talks about. And this is a Dave Meltzer thing. This is not a worldwide standard. This is a Dave Meltzer standard that he has made into this worldwide standard. Because people care. They don't talk about, like, was that a 10-star match or whatever you want to call it. It's
Right.
just a 5-star because that's how Dave
Reviews everything. He watches the show and he's just like, oh, that's pretty good, 4.5. I'll put this down. And then people lose their minds about it. Like even our own AEW super fan Ben Sublier was looking at the ratings for the recent WrestleDream.
They gave the Hangman and Joe like 4.25.
Yeah.
Like, what are you out of your mind?
I was just like, I call it Dave-flation, where all the matches are about a 1/2 star too high. So if you cut it down by a 1/2 star for each one, that's when they're pretty accurate.
Right.
Because I think he's got a good sense of which matches were better, but in terms of like actually grading it, but you know,
that's a good point that you bring up, because that's how I look at it as well. That usually in the order that he has them, as far as the highest rated to the lowest rated, I pretty much agree. As I've watched the show and go, okay, well, we're thinking the same.
Yep.
But as you said, I love the Brodito Takeshita Okada match. That is not a perfect match.
Right.
That's not one, like, there are matches that you tell people, I don't care what you're a non-wrestling fan, you need to go and watch this.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that match, but it was not an absolute
perfect professional wrestling match.
It wasn't. And so I don't know, how many 5 stars can you have? Like, to me, if I'm doing that, I'm probably having 4 or 5 5-star matches all year in every company.
Yep.
So that when I get to my match of the year, there's only 5 of them that have been 5 stars.
Yep.
That's how
and that's how it used to be with Dave. Like, there was a stretch where there wasn't a 5-star match all throughout the 2000s. Like, I think the last 5-star match in between was the CM Punk Samoa Joe match in Ring of Honor. That was like 04, 05. And then it went up to, I think, 2011, 2012. At least for American pro wrestling, there might have been some Japan matches in there, which I'm not playing into a bit when I say that. But I believe that's how it goes. But I just bring it up because I saw Matt Hardy talk about it. I watched that match because I was like, well, I guess this is the last one. It's a tables match. And all it really was just like,
yeah, I watched it too.
Yeah, it was like, I'm like, I guess it's a 5-star match because he took the Ric Flair moment with Shawn at WrestleMania, whatever, 25, 26 or whatever, or 24, whatever, one of those WrestleManias where he's like crying and Shawn's like, I'm sorry, I love you. And they do the same thing, but I felt it was way more like he turns around, he's crying and like, put me through this table. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing? It's like, just like, you know.
There were some elements that I didn't mind because I know they're going out that way.
Yep.
But it was more, again, the middle part of it. Like they did the spots and Jeff goes up on the ladder and stuff. But okay. Like it's just, it's periphery stuff.
Yeah.
Where like the content stuff for me is how I would judge them. And you go back to, Danielson Ospreay. You go back to some of these things where the content is like, wow.
Yeah, blow away.
And that's at least part of the equation for me to be in that category. And they weren't. But always good to see you at Shea Gibby.
At Shea Gibby. That's what we're calling it.
And this has been a lot of fun. And as you said, to try to look forward here, I'm going to try and sink myself into this Saturday night's main event because I'm not loving what's happening on AEW right now. And as they lead up to Full Gear, it's not like I'm going to watch, but it's not like I'm completely invested. To me, I kind of watch the WWE sometimes to be like, how are they going to screw this up? And that sucks.
Yep.
Right now, I'm kind of watching AEW to go like, great. So Joe or Lashley's going to be in, and I'm going to have to watch. Like,
nothing really, tickling our fancy. So,
but I am going to. I mean, Cody's been doing a lot of heel things lately, so we'll see what is going to go on with him. Drew McIntyre in another big spot that everyone just thinks he's going to lose again.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of hoping he doesn't.
That's kind of the rep they've established with him, unfortunately. So
kind of hoping he doesn't.
Yeah. Hopefully
I picked him last time. Maybe I'll just pick him again.
Why not? Why not?
You know what? Put yourself out there, Lee. You know what? I did. Drew McIntyre.
Stick your chin out.
Okay. If you're going to have a no finish, you're going to have a world title change. How about that?
There you go.
All right.
I will say this quickly for the Sens fans that tune in. I'll be doing my first regular season game for the Belleville Senators this Wednesday. It's gonna be
Toronto or Laval?
it's neither one of them.
Oh, no.
I know.
Here comes Utica into
It is
town.
not the Utica Comets.
Oh.
It is the Rochester Americans that are coming to town.
Well, there's Syracuse, Rochester,
yeah.
Utica in that line, and then the Toronto and Laval. So
Yeah.
my mistake, Zach, my mistake.
Yeah, it's like throwing a dart in the middle of the board.
But that's exciting. Wednesday night.
Yep.
For the Belleville Sens.
Yep.
Looks like the big team is a little bit course corrected after a not very good start.
No.
7-1
win over Washington.
When you have as many goals as I think the Caps had shots at one point in Washington, you're like,
it's pretty good.
all right. I think you caught the Caps on a bit of an off night, but that's okay. Good,
Hey.
goalie fights and
I was just gonna say, Allmark coming out there, and sometimes no matter the circumstances, sometimes that's all you need is a boost like that.
a good goalie fight.
Yep.
And back-to-back wins. I was at the Thursday game against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yep.
They were the better team in that one. I thought they got a little fortunate, but they were the better team against Philadelphia. Philadelphia's not great.
Yep.
But these are the games when you're at home now that you got to win because the schedule gets a little bit tougher, and going into Washington's a tough game. So
yep,
that's good for them. Yep. I mean, the baseball is 1-1. It's pretty exciting. To me, the World Series is just captivated. Like the Blue Jays have captivated everybody.
Yep.
But right now, as we sit, they're 1-1. Maybe by the time this comes out and you listen to it, it will have changed. But it's a very deserving 1-1. Blue Jays dominated game 1. The Dodgers were just better in game 2.
Yeah. Yamamoto was unbelievable.
But the Dodgers, even Freddie Freeman has a crazy error and they just get out of it because they're good. And so it's going to be tough. I think it's going to go a long way, but this is a fun time to be a sports fan. That
for sure.
is for sure. And always good to see. I know people won't really care, but if you ever want to watch a team lose that you want to lose and lose in like epic fashion, the Western Mustangs lost to the Guelph Griffins. And I don't know if anybody saw that.
Little U Sports there is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, but it's not just that Western, they just beat everybody and they think they're better than everybody.
Yeah.
No,
that is the Western reputation.
This isn't a bitter Laurier guy, or maybe it is.
Maybe.
But Western just winning everything all the time. Well, yesterday they had their season conclude early in the playoffs when Guelph missed an extra point or a field goal, and all Western had to do with no time left was kick it out of the end zone, and they just didn't, and lost by a point with no time left.
Brutal.
What a shame. What a shame.
I could see that tear coming down your cheek there.
Hey, if you ever want to hear, just type it into any social media. You ever want to hear some great audio? Incredible audio for the Western broadcasters that are in like a room like us.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like they're in a room like us. And they're just like, what are you doing? And then you hear the Guelph people down at the end of the press box.
Yeah.
Let's go! And they're swearing because they didn't even understand that part.
Oh my God.
It is fantastic audio if you get a chance to go and.
Some of those best calls come from U Sports. Like there's that famous Queens Gales one now where no touchdown Western.
And not that I'm bitter about it, but one of the greatest things I've ever had happen. You can't even hear my voice in a Hail Mary Carlton win in the Panda game because a certain colored guy started jumping all over me and literally to the point where you couldn't hear me. And I will not say his name.
Okay.
Kenneth Brer. But Ken would admit it.
Yeah.
He made a mistake.
That's all.
That's okay, Kenny. Yeah. We still love you.
That's right.
This has been fun. Always good, Zach. And we will definitely talk to you again soon for
sure.
Zach McGibbon. I'm Lee Versage. Thanks again for listening to This is Wrestling.